Let's do some top day trade now with Phil Flynn, a Fox Business News Network contributor, and Alan Knuckman, the chief market strategist at bullseyeoption.com. Here we go, guys. Round number one, hitting an S&P 5,000 wall. The S&P is trading in all-time high record territory. Options traders are setting up for the S&P to run to 5,000, but will they hit a wall?
I'm still looking for S&P 6,000, about 25% higher in the larger picture here, but it's always interesting as a trader to see where people see these levels of ceilings and floors. And so right now it looks like 5,000 is the next ceiling. So it's important to see how the markets react and see if we push through it and how we act once we do or if we fail to.
And when you see that type of option activity, you're seeing the congregation of great minds thinking alike. And sometimes these option levels can become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Round number two, Bitcoin ETF, exchange traded fund. Is the Bitcoin ETF moving that crypto coin?
What happened then is when we got it, we sold the fat. So really the market was anticipating the product. Once it got it, we saw a price pullback, but make no mistake about it. This type of growth with this type of obscure investment is making it mainstream. Now, I have to call kudos to the CME group because years ago, when people thought Bitcoin was a fraud, they were ahead of the curve. Right. They had a Bitcoin futures. So they saw its potential, and I think the rest of us should as well.
And we mentioned that was the beginning of legitimacy because it was an exchange traded product. And that's super important to us that there's, someone on the other side of the trade. And you've got an exchange involved, and that's a big deal. And now with this ETF, you're seeing a little bit of a price pause. But the next catalyst is, we'll go back to question number one, is options. The options are not available on these ETFs just yet. So once the options become available, that opens up a whole new world of people. Because for me, there's a better option strategy to use than simply buying or selling a stock or an ETF. So I think that's going to be another big day in Bitcoin.
Round number three, price versus politics. What's your stock market lesson for this election year?
Presidents don't make markets, presidents don't break markets. It's an old saying. We've been in a bull market mostly for the last 50 years with, a couple of pullbacks, but every time we pull back, we made new highs. So, it's going to be a lot of talk. But in fact, for me, I focus on price, not policy. It's about opportunity. There are unlimited opportunities. It doesn't matter who's in office.
I will say the last election, though, kind of throws something in the face of that because there was this perception that if this unknown president, Donald Trump, got elected, they kept telling us it was going to be bad for the stock market. That wasn't the last election.
That was 2 elections ago.
2 elections ago. How time flies when you're having fun. So 2 elections ago, when Donald Trump was, running for the election the first time, everybody thought the stock market was going to crash. And when we saw the early polls that Donald Trump was going to win, we saw the stock market start to crash. But interestingly enough, that day, once the election was decided, we saw one of the beginnings of one of the biggest bull markets in stock market history, one that hasn't ended. So policies can matter, especially when you have a policy that's more pro-growth. That normally gets the stock market to go. And, when you have policies that raise taxes, generally that's not good for stocks.
Where were you from 2010 to 2016?
I'm right here in the basement.
Okay. No further questions.
In today's bonus round question, we are celebrating the life and times of wonderful Jimmy Buffett. But we talk a lot about Warren Buffett on the show. Do you know your Buffett? Jimmy Buffett or Warren Buffett? Which Buffett has a dedicated XM Sirius channel?
I'd have to say Jimmy Buffett, but it could be
It's
Warren.
Jimmy, and I've actually stayed in the Jimmy Buffett hotels in Florida. So yeah, I'm pretty familiar.
Yes, a couple of cheeseburgers in paradise are on the way. Way to go, guys. Warren Buffett has a stake in Sirius, and Jimmy Buffett plays on the channel. Keep it tuned to this BAT channel. Just go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.